What if I told you you don't have to be broke to be poor? You can have a job, pay your bills, even look successful from the outside, and still be falling behind financially. There's a new kind of poverty today. It's quiet, it's normalized, and most people don't even see it. In this video, we're breaking down 10 signs you might be the new poor. And once you see them, you won't be able to unsee them. Let's dive right in.
Hey, welcome. Today we're diving into a really strange financial struggle. It's something that so many people are feeling, even when they have a good job and, from the outside, look like they're doing everything right. Let's get into it. So does this question hit a little too close to home? You know, you're bringing in a steady paycheck, things look fine on paper, but when you get to the end of the month, you're just staring at your account wondering, where did it all go? Well, if that's you, you're definitely not alone. And there's actually a name for this feeling. And here it is, the new poor. This isn't about what we traditionally think of as poverty. It's this weird, modern situation where you have a decent income, but you're not actually moving forward. You're just stuck. It's a really precarious spot to be in, and it's become shockingly normal. So what is this exactly? Here's the most important thing to understand. It has almost nothing to do with the size of your paycheck. It's all about what's left over at the end of the day. And more importantly, whether you're able to build any kind of financial foundation for your future. And this is why it's so sneaky. It's this quiet, hidden struggle, right? I mean, when all your friends are also living paycheck to paycheck, it just starts to feel normal. But you know, just because something is common, that doesn't mean it's a good or secure way to live. So let's break down the signs. First up, let's talk about the cash flow squeeze. This is that constant, nagging, day-to-day pressure. It's that feeling that your bank account is like a leaky bucket, and you're just running around trying to plug the holes before it's completely empty again. And one of the biggest signs, when more than half of your income is just vaporized by rent. When that number gets that high, you're pretty much in pure survival mode. You're not building anything for the future, you're just treading water. There's just no breathing room for saving, investing, or actually getting ahead. And then there's this silent killer, inflation. You might get that 3% raise at work and, feel pretty good about it. But if your rent, your food, your gas, if all of that goes up by 6%, well, you're actually getting poorer every single year, even with that raise. You know what else is a huge red flag for cash flow strain? The rise of buy now, pay later. I mean, it feels so easy and convenient in the moment, right? But if you're relying on these plans for everyday stuff, it's a sign you can't actually afford them. And it just traps you in a cycle where you always end up paying more in the long run. And let's be real about the tech we use every day. Tapping your card, one-clicking on Amazon, it removes all the psychological friction, that little sting you feel when you hand over actual cash. And because it's so frictionless, it's incredibly easy to overspend without even thinking about it until that credit card statement hits. Okay, so that constant cash flow squeeze, it has a really dangerous long-term side effect. And that brings us to our next point, the wealth building gap. This is where we shift from just surviving day to day to the bigger problem of not being able to build any real long-term financial security. Look, an emergency fund is not a luxury. It's your financial shield. Without a decent one, a single flat tire or an unexpected medical bill can throw you right into a spiral of debt. And the scary reality for a lot of people is having less than $1,000 saved. You're basically living on a razor's edge. This slide right here really gets to the heart of it. You have to ask yourself, do I have a job or do I have a career? A job just pays you for your time. A career should be building your future, your skills, your network, your value. If your work isn't doing that, you're way more vulnerable than you think. So I want you to really think about this for a second. If every single dollar that comes into your life goes right back out to pay for your expenses, your lifestyle, everything, then you are simply working, not building. The whole point is to eventually acquire assets, things that make money for you, like investments or property. Without those, your financial growth will always be capped by how many hours you can physically work. Okay, so beyond just the numbers, we've got to talk about the invisible forces that keep people stuck. These are the mindset and environment traps that are so easy to fall into. This spend today, think later mindset, it's just a massive trap. All those little things, the daily gourmet coffees, the impulse buys on social media, having the latest phone, they feel small, but they compound over time, and usually not in a good way. And there are so many other traps too. If all your friends are in the same boat, it just reinforces that this is normal. We're taught to never talk about money, which means we never learn from each other. And for a lot of us, there's that hidden pressure of knowing you're going to have to be the retirement plan for your parents. All of this stuff shapes our decisions without us even realizing it.
So, wow. After hearing all that, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed. But what's the path forward? Honestly, it starts with something simple. The single most powerful tool you have is just awareness. Recognizing these patterns in your own life is the absolute first, most important step to changing anything.
And if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. This whole thing was never about how much money you make. You could be earning 6 figures and still be part of the new poor.
It is all about your financial direction. That's it. Are you building a solid foundation brick by brick, or are you on a path that's slowly chipping it away? That's the only question that really matters.
But here's the really good news. The second you see these signs, the moment you become aware of the pattern, that's when you get your power back. Awareness truly does change everything. So I'll just leave you with this thought. Do you recognize the pattern in your own life? Because if you do, you now know you have the power to change the outcome. You can start today, right now, and set yourself on a completely different path.